Let's talk about quote-unquote white people for a minute. Now, we both know that there are some melanated white people.
Oh yeah.
Who got melanin.
If you look at the Greeks, when you look at their facial features and their hair, where does that come from, people? That comes from Kemet, and Cleopatra was basically the first product on a large scale of interracial mixing. Okay, as far as ancient rulers. And you know, after that, after the Ptolemies rule over Egypt, you saw a lot of more mixing with Africans and Greeks. So, the southern piece of Italy, you Sicilian people who, you know, still want to be on your whole racist tip, a lot of you are blacker than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talking about, oh, he's N-word this, N-word that.
Yeah.
Man, we gotta wake up, people.
We got to, because one thing that we was touching on before we started filming was the fact of how the interbreeding made all of the races that we see. But to go deeper into that, everywhere we go on every continent, we see a light-skinned form of people.
Exactly.
But we see the darker predecessors on that land.
Yep.
For example, in Asia, you got light-skinned Asians.
Yep.
But what they ain't telling y'all is that it's some Asians that's been on the continent of Asia for fucking the beginning of time, who's dark as hell and their eyes are like this.
There's 100 million, you might as well call them Africans in China right now. 100 million Africans, dark-skinned Africans in China right now. And why isn't the media broadcasting that to us?
Yep.
They have an agenda, people.
Even when we look at places like Australia, we see that people think, when you hear the word Australian, I think of a white man hopping on the back of a crocodile. But what they ain't telling us is it's Australian people over there who jet black.
Yep.
With blonde hair and blue eyes.
Dravidian. Yep.
Now that's deep. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
It show you how
diverse.
Every race got some similarities with one another.
Yep.
Traces of every race can be found in every race. Because I was looking through some of the pictures of the Olmec heads, and some of those heads got very obvious Asian features.
Oh yeah.
A lot of those Olmec heads, if you look at the Olmec heads on some of them statues, the eyes are like this on a lot of those Olmec statues. They would look like what I would call Taiwanese or something like that.
Yeah.
That goes back to a question that I always had, and I haven't researched this enough, but what is the Asiatic black man exactly?
The Asiatic black man is the descendant of the Olmecs, because when they traveled to the Polynesian islands, okay, the Polynesians are our children as well. You know what I'm saying? They intermixed with certain Caucasoids and created the whole like civilization on the Samoan, Filipino, Hawaiian, Fiji, New Zealand islands. Okay, and they gave those islands their whole population. And like I said in the previous video, they even went to Japan and showed the Japanese the way of the samurai, which is the samurai. Okay. And it delves in really deep. If you want more information on that subject, I highly advise people to tune into the Hidden Colors DVDs, to purchase the Hidden Color DVDs.
That's a great one right there. I watched it myself. That's something every conscious African people need to see. I had to prove that.
Yeah.
Hidden Colors is deep, man.
Oh yeah.
A lot of things that we said in our videos, we touched on electromagnetic aura fields.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna say this for the record. I don't know everything about that. All I know is that we do all have an aura and an electromagnetic aura field, so does the earth. My thing is there a distinction among our brothers and sisters of various races amongst the aura field that we had based on our parents?
I'm glad you brought this up, because this is another one of my favorite subjects, and actually I'm gonna do a future lecture and video on Bruce Lee, and then another one on the whole Star Wars episodes. And this delves into that. Basically, well, a lot of people try to deny this, but the melanin particle is known throughout the world as the God particle. So there's two, but see, here's what people don't understand and what people are being misled by. There's two melanin counts in humans' bodies, people. There's a melanin count in your skin, and then there's a melanin count in your DNA, and your whole body in your DNA that's produced by your pineal gland.
Now, question before you go on. Are these two melanin types distinctive from one another?
Yeah.
So you can have, so for the record, everybody who might not be aware, some people have more melanin in the skin than in the DNA, and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, which one is more better? Would you, for example, if I ask you the question, would you rather have more melanin in your skin or in your DNA? Obviously, the DNA, or...
I mean, that's a very good question. Me personally, I'd rather have it balanced because I mean, a person like me, I believe I have a lot of melanin concentration in my DNA, but I don't have as much in my skin. So a person like me, I'd probably be able to astro travel, go out of space, but I'm not sure if I would be able to go certain distances or go, through stars, certain distances and circumferences of stars.
Now, speaking on astro travel, I want to get off the subject a little. I actually astro traveled in my life before. I've done it one time, and every time I tried to do it since then, I just can't do it. I talked to a lady at the psychic shop where I get my crystals from, and she told me that don't force it.
Exactly.
Now, when I first astro traveled, I practiced a ritual that I found online, and it actually worked. I was outside of my body, but when I realized that I was astro traveling, I got scared and immediately closed my eyes to wake myself back up. I got scared, brother, because when I did it, I was experimenting, trying to see if it was actually real.
Okay.
And when I found out it was real, I found out later when I looked in the forum that a lot of people did the same thing I did. When they found out for the first time, the lady told me that for the first time, you're going to be scared.
Exactly. It's always like that. Like, first time swimming, I had a huge fear of water. And when I became conscious, I got to thank the 13th son, because he stated, if you're not one with the water, it's impossible to be one with the creator. And I had to teach myself how to swim over a 3-year span. Okay?
Hey man, you know what? I took you off track a minute ago. You was breaking it down in electromagnetic aura field.
The swimming goes into that, because when you look at the flow of water, you're not really talking about anything but the flow of electromagnetic energy, and that's why all these pyramids across the planet, these scientists are going under them and finding rivers, flowing water under the pyramids.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
That's real deep. Another thing I want to mention, you brought up the 13th son, and I be on your channel a lot. I noticed that a lot of people give you flack.
Oh yeah.
Because of the 13th son.
Oh yeah.
They like to call him the 13th bomb. A lot of people don't like the brother, but what I'm gonna tell you is this. Me personally, I've learned a lot from the 13th son, and I really have nothing bad to say about anybody that's trying their best to deliver truth and knowledge, to the people.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
We all gonna grow together.
Yep.
I tell y'all that all the time on this channel, that I'm your brother. I'm brother Sanchez. This is your brother. We all brothers. Now when we talk about the 13th son, there's some things I agree and disagree with the 13th son. Hey man, I got a foundation that's based on the studies of plenty master teachers.
Yep.
Most of them the same ones he got. Phil Valentine, Delbert Blair, Amos Wilson, Dr. Barashengo, Layla Africa,
Francis Cress Wilson,
Jewel Pulcrum, Runoko Rashidi, Dr. Aisha Hillard. If you only got one, you missed the entire thing. You got to get it from them all.
Yeah.
Now, all of them don't agree with each other, but it ain't about that. It's about you getting the knowledge from them all and basing your own thesis from it.
Exactly. Taking the pieces and then putting together your own conclusion.
Mm-hmm. So in that case, nobody have the same reality, but the moment we all share the same reality, that's what I call religion.
Exactly. And think about it, people. If we were all the same and we all agreed on every single topic on the planet, how boring would this world be? Come on, man.
It'd be a robotic world, man. I'm a fan of saying that every civilization and every color, which are our brothers and sisters, has something to contribute to society.
Oh yeah.
I love my heritage and who I am, and I don't expect nobody else to hate who they are. But what I always said was the one thing that connects humanity is Africa.
Oh yeah.
The birthplace of humanity.
Exactly.
You know, that's the same example I use if a woman has 6 children, all about 6 different daddies. The one thing that will connect those 6 children is that mama.
Exactly.
You know,
and see, I want a lot of people to go research the Falasha tribe and the Lima tribe in Ethiopia. I'm gonna say that again. The Falasha tribe and the Lima tribe. Those 2 tribes, okay, are direct descendants of the black people in America because both of us were ruling in Kemet. Like I said, we're going to post pictures of the faces of the pharaohs and compare them with Ethiopian and African American people. So basically what I'm trying to push is, I want people to take baby steps. Okay, I understand we have about 4 more years until the New World Order, and we're gonna have to work fast, people. Okay, we're gonna have to change pretty fast on the large scale of things. So just know you cannot truly love anybody else unless you love yourself first. But you cannot make any kind of global change or impact the world, okay, unless you understand your position in a global perspective. And you have to have love for your children all over the world, okay? We have to take responsibilities as the mothers and fathers of civilization. With great power comes great responsibility.
When you say we gotta love ourselves first, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
And I want to make that clear for the record. The thing that I always say is we have to identify who the ourself is.
Yeah.
And we understand that we all related. We all have African ancestry, no matter your quote unquote race. But I see what the brother's saying when he say ourself, and I do know he know that. We definitely love all of our brothers and sisters across the globe. But the thing that I tell people all the time is that white supremacy is global.
Exactly.
White supremacy, often we think of white supremacy as something that's ran and orchestrated by whites only.
No.
I have to tell people that the illusion of white supremacy is the word white itself.
Actually, you can't have a slave without the slave being compliant in his oppression.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So you have a group of people known as the Black Boule.